If you're in the market for a lightweight single axle travel trailer, but you wanted a laminated exterior, you want a roof mount AC, and you want a furnace, this one right here is the one. This is the 2025 Eddie Bauer 17RB-L. Now, as we're going through this one, if you're interested and you want to know how much it is or where you can pick one up at, there will be a link in the description. But let's get inside and take a look. If you're in the market for a lightweight couples coach, I think this one right here is a great contender. It has a lot of things that a lot of others don't have in this floor plan, and especially at this price point. But let's talk a little bit here about the interior and a lot of things I really like that they have done. Starting off, right off the bat, it's actually going to be up on the ceiling. There's a couple things here that I think really make this one stand out. One is going to be the fact this has a roof mount AC. A lot of manufacturers where they have this floor plan, you know, the single axle rear bath here, this is not the only manufacturer that makes this floor plan, but most of them will have a wall mount AC. They went with the roof mount, which does a few different things. One of them is just going to be a more powerful AC. The other is the fact that it allows a big window over there to let in a lot more natural light. So I think they did a really good job with that. The other thing I like is going to be the lighting. Rather than having just like little puck lights, they have the dimmable line lighting on here, so that way you can kind of set the light to what you want. And when it's full power like it is right now, it really helps brighten up the coach, especially when the uppers are nice and bright like this. This part over here, again, is going to be pretty unique. So you have some storage right up top, which I like. You know, I'm a big board game guy, so I like to have board games, whether you put them here or even stack them here, you have the capability to do it. But another great option for this space is if you want to put like a Keurig or something, a coffee maker up here, you can do that because they put an electrical outlet up there, which again, I think really helps make that space a lot more versatile than a lot of times what you would just normally get. Then if we drop down again, you have a window right here so you can see out to your campsite. I love having a campsite dinette, which again, most of the floor plans, they're like this, right? Most manufacturers include the campsite dinette here, and this is no exception. Now, because this is Eddie Bauer branded, you can see that they have put that right here into the seat. I do like that as well, that it's kind of embossed in there. Pretty comfortable as far as dinettes go as well. Now, underneath, you'll see a couple different things. There's not going to be storage, but the reason for that is because on this side, you have a furnace. And that's going to be another differentiator. A lot of times when you're looking at this price point, at this floor plan, they're going to have just an electric fireplace, which means that you really need shore power or a generator to have any type of heat. That's not the case here. This one has the propane on here, and that will allow the furnace to run, so that way it can be nice and toasty. Now, I'm not saying you can do winter camping, but if you're going to be kind of, you know, a little bit earlier in the spring, a little bit later in the fall, having the furnace allows you to do that. Also, this tabletop right here does drop down into additional sleeping space if you need a little bit more sleeping space, and there's an electrical outlet down there, so if you want to sit here and like plug in a laptop, tablet, something like that, you can certainly do that as well. Right here on the wall, you're going to have your thermostat. If you take a look at this one will be just for the heat because the AC will actually be controlled right here. You can see that everything for the AC will be located there. And then underneath that is going to be your tank monitoring panel. Also in the tank monitoring panel at the very bottom will be your water pump. So if you're going to be drawing water from your fresh tank, that is how you turn that on. We'll come over into the kitchen here in just a second. I did want to point out the fact that they kind of have like a design on the wood door. I like that too, rather than just kind of a standard door. It does throw a few more patterns into the mix just because we have white, green, and then a wood grain. But I do think that color palette wise, it does do a pretty good job of kind of blending in with the rest of it. Now over to the side is going to be a tub. You know, again, personally, if it's just me, I do like a shower over a tub. But, you know, here, if you have a dog, it makes it easier to wash the doggo. The other nice thing is because your tub walls come up a little higher, your curtain will actually stay in the shower rather than, you know, kind of spilling water everywhere, which is nice. Now, at 6 foot tall, if I stand up in here, I can do it as long as I am basically right here, right? As long as I'm right next to the shower head, I can make it happen. I would probably shower sideways just because, you know, it's a little tight if I turn. But again, I can take the hand wand, do what I need to do, and still stay underneath here. Without that, obviously, I'm going to have to duck my head a little. Again, at 6 foot tall. If you're going to be shorter than that, you know, you're 5'10", something like that, you'll probably have full range of motion there in the shower. As for the toilet, you can see I actually have really good leg room, great shoulder space. Man, I have no problems at all here. Being a rear bath, it's one of the big advantages of rear bath is it's nice and big. Not just for using the bathroom either, but if I need to change right over to the side here, I have some room that I can actually do that. And You have a big wardrobe back here, which is great because, you know, up front, we don't really have a lot of storage where it traditionally would be, but it's okay because you have all this storage back here. And again, this is probably where you're going to change anyway. And then you have a little space underneath. Personally, I'm probably putting like rolled up towels in there, maybe some toilet paper, things like that. Put a little basket in there with some toilet paper, right? But they did a good job of giving you sufficient storage there in the bathroom. Now we kind of come out and take a look at our kitchen. You have the microwave right up top here. Right underneath is going to be the fridge. You have like a little freezer compartment right up top there. And then coming over is going to be a thermoformed countertop. So this is going to be an upgrade over like a T-mold, right? Not quite as nice as a solid surface, but still a nice upgrade. 2-burner cooktop, and you will see that the orientation is going to be a little more vertical rather than horizontal, but they do that to free up some space right here to give you a little prep space. You also see the single basin sink over to the side, kind of the faux backsplash that you have back here. It does do, you know, a better job that over like just a wall board. This is going to be a heck of a lot easier to clean. If anything, you know, you have a red sauce or something that splashes up from there. Then you have a big window here in the kitchen too, which again brings in a lot of natural light during the day, which I love. Up top is going to be your hood with both a light and a fan. And then you have some additional storage right up top here as well. Underneath, I think it did a pretty good job of giving you a few different things. One of them is going to be an electrical outlet. You know, it's not my favorite positioning, but I guess there's not a great spot to put it. I kind of would have preferred to put it somewhere in the wall, but I understand you can't really put it here because the window, there, the cooktop, here, the sink, so I get it. But it does make it, you know, just slightly inconvenient because something will have to come down and plug in. But hey, at least it is there. You will see that they have 2 drawers in here, which, you know, I always say you have to have at least 1 drawer for flatware to have a functional kitchen in an RV, in my opinion. They're not super deep drawers, but they are going to be drawers nonetheless. This storage space, I think they did a really good job with. These are going to be nice and deep, great for pots and pans, things like that. Or if you want, you can even put a small trash can into one side of these. Although in my personal opinion, there is enough space if you want to drop it right here in the corner. You'd be able to put one there as well. Another thing I do want to touch on is the water heater. This one has a Suburban tankless water heater. So that way you have basically, you know, if you have city water hookup, you essentially have on demand, almost like unlimited hot water, which is going to be fantastic. Making our way up front here, we kind of talked about the window here in the bedroom, right? Just kind of letting in all that natural light. That is an emergency exit as well. You have a RV camper queen. And then on both sides, you will have electrical outlets, you know, for cell phones, alarm clocks, whatever else you need to plug in. Then you also have an additional shelf up top here for some more storage, plus a little reading light there if you want it. And if you want to watch TV in here, that is going to be located right up there on the wall. The last thing I want to touch on is actually going to be right around the corner. So there's a couple things here as far as controls. As I mentioned, dimmable light switch, that control will be here. This will be for the lights for our awning. This is for the awning to extend and retract. And then we also have the JBL Multimedia Center located there. Now, as we take a look at the outside of the 2025 Eddie Bauer 17RB-L, we'll see our tongue jack right up front here, 20-pound propane tank, rails for the battery, diamond plating, helping to protect that front end, and smooth aluminum front, which looks really nice, cleans nice and easy too. Coming around to this side, as we talked about, this one is going to have a fiberglass exterior, a really nice upgrade over your standard aluminum. It's not going to dent nearly as easy, and it looks a lot nicer. Again, just a whole heck of a lot easier to clean, and some will argue that it's a little bit lighter weight and better insulation. Now, if we take a look inside, you can see how much space you have in here. It's one of the things I love about the 17RB from Eddie Bauer is you just have big storage space right up front there. You also see a power awning with an LED light strip. Just touch a button to roll that out. Of course, light here at night. And as we talked about inside, we have the JBL sound system. The speakers are going to be right out here, so that way you can keep the party going, whether it's the middle of the day or you're sitting out around the campfire. Coming around the back, you will see our square tubular bumper here. Then right up top is going to be backup camera prep. Great thing about that is it's basically a plug and play operation there. So if you do want the backup camera, again, it's nice and inexpensive to have that added. You will also see ladder prep for the Lippert on-the-go ladders. That way it's a telescoping ladder, you can just connect it and climb up onto the fully walkable roof. Coming around the side here, you will see your 30 amp power cord will be tucked away. That is going to be built in, so that way it's always with you. You'll also see your cable inlet here. Dropping down, you will see the termination with both black and gray tank valves. You'll also see the stabilizer jacks. The thing I like about this one is that it has 2 stabilizer jacks in the back and 2 in the front. A lot of times on this size RV, this floor plan, they'll just put 2 in the back, so the 2 up front are definitely a welcome addition. You will also see your tankless water heater located right here. I do just want to mention there is a switch. This switch has to be in the on position for it to work. If it is off, nothing inside is going to function as far as the water heater goes. And then right in front of that, you're going to see your city water inlet. A little bit further up will be your fresh tank fill. Now again, if you're interested in this one, you want to know how much it is, where you can pick it up at, there will be a link in the description. Simply click on that. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.